Hi Melissa, this is John Fitzroy speaking. I'm just giving you a little introduction to the coaching session that I did in order to show you my coaching style, and hopefully it will meet your coaching values. Do let me know if you need any more information from me. Thank you very much. Okay, so welcome to Your Impact on Others. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name's John Fitzroy. I've worked for 35 years plus on business change programs successfully, interacted with people from board level executives down to people who write code, looking at focusing on the IT impacts. And I would say to you that my success, one of the main contributing factors was how I understood my behaviour and flexed it according to the situation in order to build greater influence. Okay, that's me. So the principle behind it, the thinking behind this, is that people perceive us based on our own behaviour. Our behaviour is driven by our desire to achieve a sense of self-worth and feel good about ourselves. Okay. Our behaviour is driven, therefore, by our motivational style, and that's what we're going to focus on. So just step back through that. Our motivational style is driven by our behaviour. We behave in that way in order to achieve a sense of self-worth, to feel good about ourselves. And then people create perceptions about us according to how we behave. There are many different motivational styles. Everybody's got their own unique one, but broadly speaking, they fall into four categories. One is results-based. The other one is people-based, and the last one is details-based. Sorry, the last one then is a mix of all three, potentially. The idea is that when you understand your behaviour, and we will find that out through the quiz, through exercises, we will be able to flex that behaviour in order to make the situation better and to improve our working relationships. Okay? So, I'm going to ask you to do an exercise now, a little bit tricky, given the space, but we'll manage. I'd like you to think about a situation where you identify people with whom you have a working relationship and which you would like to improve. Okay? And then the exercise for a couple of minutes is just to discuss the benefits of those. So I can partner up with one of you, and then the other two can have that chat, and then we'll do a quick debrief. Okay?
Sure. Roger.
So, you two going to go?
Right.
So I'm going to sit here with Sam. So tell me about a relationship you'd like to improve.
Like to improve, like a client or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Barclays, funny enough. Definitely with the recruitment team. It's not one person specifically that's the only thing. It's just like an overall perception of us as a business and how they perceive us.
Yeah, I think
we are a supplier to them.
Recent things we've worked a role.
We know one or two people in there. We've kind of shown our sorts a little bit, done a few placements, but where they are so gargantuan,
the role we're put on a freeze.
We don't touch the sides really. We're not really kind of making enough gravitas in there.
So what would be the benefits then if you were able to improve that situation?
Already relationships built with other recruiters.
We'd be able to
answer on the phone calling.
Well, we'd be able to fill a lot more. We'd be able to place a lot more candidates that we've actually got on our books into Barclays. That's the thing. A lot of the candidates we actually work with are financial services, technology type people in and around London. Not even just London, like Manchester and Birmingham as well. And they have the jobs. We've got the candidates, but we don't have the right contacts yet within the recruitment team.
Okay.
So it would benefit our candidates, that's for sure, in terms of who we're working with, us obviously just in terms of actually having a client we can kind of build into. And the fact that it's pretty much a robust business that keeps us,
it's to really break that
gives us a lot of business.
So a kind of, there's a financial benefit to it, but by building that better relationship, everything sort of flows from there. Improved relationship, okay.
That's probably a big one. I have a similar sort of thing with M&G actually. We're again a supplier to M&G Investments. We've got a good relationship with the recruitment team, but they're not giving us enough work. It's almost like they just see us quite small still, and they kind of go, oh, well, we'll give you ones and two bits and pieces, but not, loads. I think it's because I wonder whether it's because they just don't really know exactly what we cover half the time. There's two I can think of straight
Okay.
away.
All right. So the key thing is summarising the benefits, really. So,
Yeah.
so I think financial gain, improvement in the working relationship,
Understanding them.
pretty much it, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Seek to understand and
Okay.
seek to be understood.
Good examples there?
That's a great example. Thank you, Sam.
In that order.
Yeah, seek to understand and seek to be understood.
Okay. So let's just debrief quickly.
Yes.
What kind of benefits did you come up with?
So the benefits that I found of my particular example was a manager that I can't get a hold of at the moment.
Right.
Now the benefits of obviously improving that working relationship is going to be that I'll be able to have more business development opportunities, really be able to be the kind of first recruiter on that manager's lips.
Yeah.
But like I say, she hasn't been responding to the phone calls, etc., etc. So, you know, the benefits of it, from my perspective, are quite clear. You know,
Okay.
if I can have that conversation, build that relationship,
Yeah.
then it's going to mean
Sounds
business
good.
opportunities.
Anything from you, Soraya?
Yeah, I was just saying that as a whole, in terms of being an HR professional, I think you'll always have challenging relationships, but you know, you always kind of have to understand the other person first before you can make yourself understood. And you're always
Yeah.
going to have such varying types of relationships. And for me, if I don't want to go back into kind of that traditional office but want to do kind of consulting,
Yeah.
it's how, you know, like with you guys, it's all about that business development and credibility. You know, what do I need to do to kind of get people on that journey and build, you know,
Okay.
to build that rapport and relationship really quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And Sam?
So mine was building relationships with bigger clients who don't currently, well, they do work with us, but not as much as I would like, Barclays and M&G in particular. But I think the benefits, if we can get this done properly, financial clearly, but also more of, again, what you said, more of a go-to, so
Mm.
they actually know what we can do, how we can deliver it, and actually kind of give us a bit more trust.
Yeah.
Trusted
yeah.
advisor.
That's good.
And that's the kind of thing we want. So yeah, to be trusted, benefit,
Yeah.
financial gain, benefit.
Build
yeah.
confidence in the client.
Build confidence in the client, yeah, hugely.
Yeah.
It builds internal confidence as well, doesn't it?
Oh,
You know,
Definitely. Yeah.
success.
Success, confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I produced a kind of a list of benefits, not exhaustive, but covers a lot of areas. You probably mentioned quite a lot of them. Maybe the bottom two, interesting looking at, problem solving and conflict handling, and we'll do a bit more on conflict handling towards the end.
It's kind of our job all the time though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Conflict handling.
yeah. But I think you can see the more effective the working relationship you have, the quicker your problems will get solved, and probably the more effective. And the same thing with conflict handling is that you can manage conflict if it ever occurs and keep it down at the lowest levels of escalation. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, the motivational model that I've referred to now, it has a basis in psychology. It was developed by a chap called Dr. Elias Porter. In 1971 he published it after about 40 years of study and practice. Dr. Elias Porter is a US psychologist who was a contemporary of Dr. Abraham Maslow. You come across Maslow's hierarchy of
Yeah.
needs. So this guy's studying and building his theory around the same time that Maslow's building hierarchy of needs. In essence, it provides a framework in which we can understand ourselves and others so that we can then produce or build better, more productive working relationships. Okay? So, let's do the quiz. So briefly, let me tell you. Each question, you have 10 questions and you've got 3 statements with each one. I'd like you to allocate 10 points across the statements according to how appropriate you feel each one is. As I said, there's no right answer, no wrong answer. They're all your answers. So do it quite instinctively. I'll give you a couple of minutes, and then can you please add up the totals at the end? Thank you.
Okay.
So as I said, we've got the 4 styles: carer, driver, professional, and adapter. So briefly, the carer, as you probably read, likes a harmonious environment, likes to be in a team that gets on well together. Usually, because of their focus on people, very good at networking. The driver likes challenges, likes the excitement, and likes getting things done, and likes to get to the end game fast, and preferably first. So they will set demanding goals and competitive elements. You probably start, I can see you nodding, you're starting to recognise these people, I think. And of course, if you've got a driver as a line manager, they will set demanding goals and elements of competition. You think it'll be done in 2 days, they'll ask you to be done in 1. Typical. Professional, on the other hand, is somebody who is very pragmatic, good planners, likes to do everything well, dot every I, cross every T, and then mentors of jobs worth doing is worth doing well. So before I go into adapter, let's just ask a question. Can you think of a work situation where a driver would excel?
So very kind of immediate, short-term requirement, needs to be delivered fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
No negotiation on that. We just need it done.
Yeah.
Sort of a salesperson would be a driver more often than not.
Very likely, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, crisis management,
Yeah.
which you're kind of referring to. Very good. And conversely, what about a professional? What situations would they be good at?
Something where ultimately, I'd say there's a lot on the line. So a lawyer, a doctor.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
along those
definitely,
lines.
yeah.
You've really got to train for it. There's a lot of theory behind what you do. It's not just a kind of a reaction.
Yeah.
Kind of an instinct game. It's got to be something that's quite thought out, quite considered.
Yeah, very good, yeah. Definitely agree with that. How are you getting on, Sam? Well done. Okay, so let's talk about the adapter then. So the adapter is someone who combines all the styles. They've seen the merits in focusing on people, on quality and on results, and consequently are very flexible. But like all the styles, there are disadvantages to each one. And one of the key things will be, once you know your style, is to recognise the disadvantages. So let's take the adapter for a minute. Can you think of any disadvantages of the adapter style?
They might often flex too far on the end of focusing too much on people and not necessarily the result.
Yeah, that is definitely one. Choose the wrong style for the situation. Yeah. I mean, there's another one. They can flip between styles in any given situation and make no impact as a result.
Or they don't give clarity on a situation if they're flitting between no defined particular style.
Yeah. And the last one is they can take too long to decide. So it's worth remembering, if there's no right and wrong style, there are merits and disadvantages or challenges to every style. Okay. The important thing is to know your style, and then as we will look towards the end of it, is understanding or creating perceptions about other people's style.
Scary.
Inevitably, you may come up with two high scores in two columns, which will turn out you could be a mix. So let's have a quick look at the mixes. We have three. We have an advocate, a guardian and a strategist. So the advocate is the carer stroke driver. They want people to help themselves, and they often see themselves as being open, sincere and honest. The guardian, on the other hand, the carer stroke professional, they want to help others achieve their goals through careful logic and analysis. And the strategist is someone who wants to use rational thinking to solve all their problems. So in a work type situation, I'll just run an example for you. If you've got someone who doesn't know what to do with an issue, and they go to their boss, who's first of all is an advocate, and explains the problem and says, what do I do next? The advocate is likely to say, what do you think you should do next? Very good. And then might offer some steering and guidance, probably send them away to come up with some options, find some more information and come back and then agree what the recommendation option is. The guardian though may well ask the same question, but they'll be very quick to start divining the options with the person.
You can do this and this kind of thing.
Yeah, and then they might send them away to maybe find some more information about any particular one, or verify assumptions they may have made, and then come back and agree the solution. The strategist, what do you think the strategist might do?
Strategist might just kind of tell them, this is what to do, this is the way to
Exactly.
date it. Say, if you do this, get this outcome, style when it's done.
This is what you do, go away and do it.
Yeah.
And of course you can see the advantages and disadvantages already in those situations, especially in terms of development. The strategist, probably the person won't develop. So the situation occurs again in the future and they'll come up with this, they'll go again and ask what to do. But the advocate, the person will learn. But also, of course, there's time. If you've got a crisis on and say, what do I do? You probably need a strategist, really, and then maybe loop back and learn about it afterwards. Yeah. Okay. So, let's have a look at the scores. So,
Nervous.
first of all, across the top of your columns, right P, C and D, which is obviously professional carer and driver. And then hands up, anybody who's got 40 or more in one column. Which column is that, Soraya?
P.
professional.
Yeah, I knew you would.
People predictable.
Well, that's predominantly your motivational style. Okay, so we'll come back to it all in a minute. So next, hands up if you've got a score above 32 and below 23.
I'm in 2, yeah.
Above 32 and one below 23.
I don't
Yeah,
get
so
anything below 23.
in my second column I've got a 32.
Ah, but it has to be above 32.
Oh right. Oh,
Okay.
then,
I've got,
right.
0.5.
What's your score above 32?
D.
Driver.
Driver, yeah.
And what's your one below 23?
What was C again?
Carer. So you're a driver professional.
Yeah.
They're
so
your two high scores.
So 37 for professional and then 32.5 for driver, but then 25.5 for carer.
So
You're-
James is a C, D and P.
So
I'm
James,
on
you're-
3, really.
you're-
31p,
Quite.
35, 34
You're an adapter.
adapter.
Yeah. So that's predominantly predominantly your style. There's no blends, but predominantly your style is professional. Oh, you're a blend driver, professional, and you're an adapter. Hey, you're one of each. It's brilliant. The point is, predominantly, particularly where you've only got one style, it doesn't mean to say the other two won't emerge in certain
Oh, I
situations.
don't know.
But you will.
I'm joking.
Your pattern of behaviour will
Yeah.
tend to be professional. Yeah. So, anybody surprised by their results?
No, not
Obviously
really.
not surprised by yours.
No, not at all.
I'm not surprised by mine.
No,
Not surprised by yours actually either.
no. I
It's
think care.
Chameleon.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the keys is to remember what I said on the last slide or the one before, where you've got merits of your style, but you've also got some disadvantages.
But it's some of this around being, how you perceive yourself to behave in a situation as well, because, like I say, the more you have that level of awareness, the more you're actually going to be able to become a blend.
Yes. Well, I think what you referred, if what you'll do to flex your style, as I said, flexing your style is the key. So you will flex, and that might move you away from your predominant style, given the situation of the people you're talking to. Yeah, and as you learn and reflect back over situations you've been in, you may well find that you will change some of the patterns in your behaviour, and actually might bring you more towards a blend if you did, or even to an adapter. And if you did this test maybe in a couple of years' time, having done all that analysis and reflection, you might find your scores a bit different. But you've learned, though, that's the thing. But then, of course, as you learn, you just need to remember the disadvantages over here. Yeah. Okay?
Interesting.
Good. So, before I go on to the next slide, the last slide, I need to talk a little bit about other people. So, understanding their motivational style. When you meet someone for a first time, or you meet people that you already know in any given work situation, you can't really ask them to do the quiz. Not really. So how are you going to work out or trying to perceive what their style is?
Usually by what they say,
You've got to
how
communicate.
open they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've found that you can go into meeting some people that are very kind of forthcoming with a problem that they kind of believe you might have solution to, or it kind of works the other way where they don't want to say anything. They kind of keep you at arm's length.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it and think, okay, if you're quite protective over you just want it done in a process. So you just want me to do X, Y, and Z. So I will just deliver to X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're quite communicative, will actually investigate and have a proper conversation to try and dig a bit deeper in terms of the problem. So rather than kind of looking at things face on,
Yeah.
it's actually analysing it a bit. So
Yeah.
you have that
Yeah.
It's very
bandwidth to do it.
It's very situational,
It is
though, isn't
situational.
it? Because
Yeah.
if you're using, trying to find somebody's motivational style in an interview setting, you're going to ask very competency-based questions in terms of, if we're dealing with this situation, how would you approach this issue?
Yeah.
So you can ask very competency-based questions
Yeah.
in an interview. If you're dealing with like a performance management situation, you are going to ask somebody sort of more reflective questions. To
Yeah.
understand, so that then you can deal with the situation moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
But it's not going to arise unless you.
Yeah.
It's really, really situational and circumstantial.
It is,
isn't
it is definitely. And in an interview situation, you can ask questions where it will become obvious actually what sort of style they are, how they answer. But just thinking about it, if you've never met anyone before and you're about to meet them, you probably had some contact with them You might have had emails, phone calls. You can look at their social media presence.
Yep.
You could listen to their voicemail to get an idea of what they sound like. And you will create perception about them as you do. The minute you meet someone, within seconds you're creating perceptions. And then when you meet them, of course, you'll begin to see the way they stand, the way they walk. You might have some small talk with them before you go into the meeting. And then, of course, the meeting itself will be very, very evident. The style will start to emerge. And I think one of the messages is, as you create a perception within seconds, is to not make that your last and only perception. Look at the evidence you get as you interact with them further, and then start to make assumptions about their motivational style, and then you can start to flex your own behaviour to get better working relationships. Okay? So lastly, on this part of the talk, of the workshop, I've got a couple of references that are useful, and what I can do is I can send you the slides afterwards so you can have them. The first one is just about the risks of overdoing your strengths and misapplying them where they become a weakness. So you can imagine, not to use you as examples here, but as a professional, you may overdo some of the dotting I's or crossing T's, which might not be appropriate for the situation, or even for the person you're interacting with. Yeah, so that's quite a short but useful article. And this other one creates another dimension about the physical environment that either both you working and of course other people working. If you see their physical environment, you can start to create more perceptions and assumptions about them. It'll tell you. It's a little bit like looking through the keyhole. Yeah. So that's the end of the first part. So thank you very much for your time on this one. We've got another session to do next, and one more after that. We can take a little break and we can chat, ask questions. But thank you very much.